up at Xtravaganza. This is going to be the last match between these two. This match, part of Jerry Lynn's retirement tour. It's no disqualification.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is a no disqualifications match. Introducing first from Minneapolis, Minnesota, Jerry Lynn. Jerry
Lynn started his career back in 1988, and he announced earlier this year that he would have a retirement tour, and as a part of the great Xtravaganza pay-per-view, our tribute to the history of the X Division, we just had to have Jerry Lynn, and who better for Jerry Lynn to face than his longtime rival.
And his opponent from Battle Creek, Michigan, Rob Van Dam.
And Taz, I would love to get your thoughts, your opinions on this rivalry that dates back to the 1990s, the late 90s, when Jerry Lynn and RVD squared off in ECW.
And they squared off a ton. I mean, there was tons of classic matches between these two men all over the country during those years in ECW. And you know, the company back then was about competition, and these two men exemplified that. They wanted to outdo everybody else. They wanted to compete hard against each other, and they did. And I'll tell you what, if you had to, which I did unfortunately more than once, had to follow these guys on a card,
man.
It was tough. But of course I did it.
Thank you, Mr. Humble.
Well, I don't know.
You always came through in the clutch, didn't you? Trying to take the spotlight away from Jerry Lynn and RVD.
No, you couldn't take the spotlight from these two guys. You kidding me?
I mean, it's obvious what makes a great rivalry. The competition is the leg power of Van Dam leads to a quick pin attempt, and Jerry Lynn right back with another shot at RVD. But in terms of rivalry, I always look at competition and styles, and I think maybe the difference in styles, slight as it might be between Jerry Lynn and RVD, made it one of the great rivalries of the past, what would you say, 10, 15, 20 years?
Yeah, you're right. I definitely think you need that a little bit of a difference in this style, to your point. And I think Van Dam, you know, he takes more of a chance out there. He's more of a strong striker, and he's going to take tons of risk.
Good point.
Where Jerry Lynn's not like that. Jerry Lynn always wrestled a sound, strong, solid match with very little mistakes.
So you're saying in terms of unpredictability, we're going to see more from RVD?
I would think so. I've wrestled both these men many a time, and I would say that I'm definitely an expert on giving you this analysis, obviously. And I would say, humbly, I would say that Van Dam definitely is more of the risk taker. I said it once, now you maybe say it again.
Well,
yeah.
why don't you lend your expert opinion on something else I'm going to ask you?
Well, I just did.
In terms of, I'm going to change the subject.
Okay, yeah.
In terms of familiarity between opponents and the fact that you've had so many matches through the years with someone that oftentimes you know many of their moves and sometimes one step ahead. What do you need to do to change things up?
Well, you got to take chances then, and I think that's where it's in Van Dam's wheelhouse. You got to take more risk just to catch the other guy off, off guard. Boom! Oh, look at that.
Example 1A, right there, as Jerry Lynn never saw the kick coming from Van Dam. Goes baseball slide, but that time, Lynn was prepared.
That's the thing, Jerry Lynn, a veteran, and to your point before, he knows Rob Van Dam.
He started wrestling in 1988. It's like 25 years that he's competed, and oh boy,
well, listen,
RVD saw him coming.
I started wrestling in 1986, right? And I retired, years ago, and I didn't even do a retirement tour. Because I'm not an egomaniac like Jerry Lynn, but
that's nothing to do with it.
It's
not part of Jerry Lynn being an egomaniac. It's about TNA and Impact Wrestling making the invitation because of his great history with this organization and with the X Division that we opened the door for him to come back.
Retirement tour. You break. Hang your boots up and go away. Van Dam's going to splatter him with this chair right now anyway. Watch. Told you. Retirement tour. Was he the frickin' Beatles?
I think the Beatles had a retirement tour, did they?
I don't know. I just thought of them. Here we go. Watch Van Dam here.
Never let facts get in the way of a story. As Jerry Lynn is able to come flying out of the corner and stop the offense of Van Dam with the clothesline. RVD, former X Division champion. Jerry Lynn, two-time X Division champion. In his days with the Impact Wrestling organization, as Jerry Lynn says, we're going to clear out the ringside area. Van Dam into the steel, but then RVD gets the boot up.
Van Dam always had that size advantage on Jerry Lynn, but Jerry never let that get in the way. He never let that get in the way. I respect that.
Ooh, wow. Perfectly executed leg drop by Van Dam. RVD gonna look around here and
let's take a look here, Michael.
We gotta take it.
Interrupt while you're talking. Stop. Pay attention. Watch this leg drop here. Look at this. Boom. I told you, Van Dam taking risks, taking chances. Let me handle a broadcast.
Never been wrong, have you?
Let me handle what's going on out here, please. What's Van Dam got in mind? And maybe a couple tables. We got a Home Depot under there. What's going on under there? What's going on? Got everything under there.
RVD going to bring the furniture into play. Again, keep in mind, this is a no disqualification match in an attempt to settle this rivalry and settle the score once and for all between these two.
Well, Van Dam had that table set up like a ramp in the corner. You could do a ton of different things to someone while that ramp is, I'm sorry, that table's like that. Whoa.
It's a way to change things up right in mid-move by Jerry Lynn.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Ends with the leg drop to the back of the head of RVD, who crashed into the apron. Talked about the history of the rivalry that started in ECW over the World TV title back in the late 90s. And we saw both at Destination X and Bound for Glory in 2011 that these two men faced each other. As Van Dam puts on the brakes, then so does Lynn, stopping a dime, see if he can use the table to his advantage.
It's dangerous, you gotta be careful here. The table's set for someone to go through it.
And Jerry Lynn gonna try and fight his way back out of the corner. Look out, look out, look out.
Maybe going for a DDT here, Mike.
Chair was in place. And instead of the DDT, at the last second, Jerry Lynn with the spinning neck breaker that leads to the cover in two.
See, that's smart by Jerry. He knew he hit a strong move right there with that neck breaker, and he tried to grab a quick victory, quick pin. Wasn't able to do it though.
And Lynn gonna bring RVD right back up to his feet. And Jerry has something in mind here.
Yeah, let's see what happens. Whoop. And Rob Van Dam hanging onto those ropes. Oh!
Jerry Lynn charging at RVD, just throws his body right at Van Dam, and the two men go crashing over the top rope out to the floor.
Yeah, both men definitely won out here. Physical contest.
Referee checking on the condition of Van Dam and Lynn outside. It's Jerry first to his feet and senses that he's got that edge, but after he throws Van Dam in, now he's going to go for a table.
Well, there's one table already set up in the corner. I guess Jerry needs a second one. It's not normally his deal.
But in this no disqualification match, almost as if Jerry Lynn is of the feeling that he's going to try and use that to his advantage. Here comes Van Dam out to meet him on the floor.
This is just a game of human chess, my friends, a game of human chess.
They try and one-up each other in the renewal of the long-term rivalry.
Well, it's the final battle, Mike.
It's part of the retirement tour.
Just let it all hang up. Let it all hang out. Just let it go. Let it rip. There we go, Van Dam. Big suplex, I should say.
Yep, fought off by Lynn. Shoulder block from the inside out.
Whoa, what the hell is this?
Watch it, watch it, watch it.
Is he crazy?
Trying to powerbomb him off the apron through the table. Wow. Instead, it's Van Dam who stops the powerbomb attempt and drives the leg right across the throat. And well, you get the close-up look, and you can see And both of these guys look like they have been through the war.
Well, that leg drop, I mean, that was, you were right in the middle of the action with that camera shot. Oh,
speaking of shot.
Right in the rib.
Wow.
That was pretty cool the way Van Dam just
Pretty
did that.
cool. Pretty cool. Unless you're Jerry Lynn, it's not so cool.
Jerry Lynn wants to come out here, be a martyr, his retirement tour.
Martyr.
Yeah, he wants to come out here and, I'm going to go on a retirement tour. Yeah. Well, Van Dam will put you to pasture, as they say. Out to the pasture. What is it, out to the
Do you have any
pasture?
respect for these guys?
What do I got to respect Jerry Lynn for? Well, I'm his contemporary. I'm retired for years. What do you
respect what he's accomplished in the wrestling business?
Of course I respect putting him over for 20 minutes
And then all of a sudden you turned on him.
Of course I respect the guy, but I don't have to respect him. He don't respect me. Huh.
Lynn able to cut Van Dam off.
My contemporary.
And Jerry gonna go all the way to the top. Hits the Hurricane Run out of the corner. Comes right at RVD. Sends him flying with the sent him flying with the drop kick, but then the spin kick is right on the money, courtesy of Van Dam.
Well, that's what Van Dam does. It's well documented, those explosive kicks. And listen, I have nothing against Jerry Lynn, but I just really, if I haven't mentioned, I feel like a retirement tour is a little pretentious.
Even if, as I've already explained, this is part of TNA and Impact Wrestling, extending the invitation for him.
I don't care if it's TNA.
It's about celebrating a career is what it's doing.
What about my career? Who celebrated my career?
I knew we'd get back to that.
Wait a minute.
Knew it was jealousy.
Well, look at this. Wow.
Oh,
my God.
Ability to throw.
That's it. He's got him.
The steal, and no. How did Van Dam kick out?
And that would have been a great way to end the retirement career tour of Jerry Lynn, whatever the hell it's called. Watch this. Look at that. Right in the back of the head. So is this Jerry Lynn's first match of the tour, middle, second?
I don't have all the specifics in terms of how many matches.
Does he have a tour T-shirt for this?
Oh, you're just jealous. I knew it right from the start. The second you got that line in about how you never had a retirement tour, as RVD goes for the cover and gets two. I knew that's what this was all about.
Well, not really.
Petty jealousy.
Oh, Van Dam's in trouble here, Mike. I'm trying to stay focused on the action. You're taking shots at me. Oh! So we need Kennelly out here to keep order.
RVD just throwing his body right at Jerry Lynn.
Oh, here we go. Van Dam saying that's it. No disqualification. Last of the Mohegans with this matchup. Oh, watch out, Rob. Oh!
Too early to celebrate for Van Dam as Jerry Lynn drives him through the table. Jerry covers. No!
Watch this, man. Misdirection tackle right here by Jerry Lynn. What a hit right there. Looked like Alan Page from Minnesota Vikings. No, Jerry Lynn's from Minnesota.
Wow.
A little segue from Minnesota.
Purple People Eaters.
Yeah, a little Minnesota
Alan
segue.
Page, little Carl Eller.
Carl Eller, little defensive lineman. Anyway, both men are down now. Retirement tour for Jerry Lynn. He's got his own tour. He's like Neil Diamond. Both men are down.
And both Van Dam and Lynn with sensational near falls. Both men on the verge of victory in this no disqualification match.
Look at that chair. Watch that steel chair. Oh, wait a minute.
Ooh. Oh, the bridging suplex. The back of Lynn crashes into the steel, but amazingly, Jerry Lynn digs down deep and kicks out before three.
Yes, an excellent Northern Lights suplex, Mike, on a steel chair. Not a bridging suplex. It's called the Northern Lights.
Was it not a bridging suplex?
It's called, but I noticed you never call it Northern Lights. What are you, hoity-toity suplex guy? Yeah, you don't want to get in that argument with me, buddy. Good choice. Your silence speaks volumes. Well, right now, here. Oh, there goes.
That speaks volumes.
You're not kidding.
Thrust kick on target. Quickly, Van Dam to the top. He's got Lynn in his sights, and he's going to fly. Five-star frog splash, caught the chair.
That's it, Mike. He's got him here.
The Mahi straw cradle, the roll through, the pin, and Van Dam kicks out.
Great timing on that roll through right there by Jerry Lynn.
Look at this.
Look at this here. Oh, man, wow. Rob really landed hard. I don't know how he didn't get the win here.
Very physical matchup. Continues. Spin kick misses, but that leg drop to the back of the head did not. Van Dam's face hits the steel chair, and Lynn covers for another 2 count.
Looked like Rob was trying to pick the chair up, and boom, he met a leg drop, and his face hit that steel.
All the emotion and all the physicality that you would expect between a match between Jerry Lynn and Rob Van Dam, as Lynn is first up to his feet. Well, he's got Van Dam exactly where he wants him. Motions. I thought he was going to go cradle pile driver. Instead, off the back body drop onto the chair. Van Dam drops down and another 2 count.
Uh-oh. Oh, that's like lifting a small truck. Watch out.
Oh, the way that he landed with his leg and knee on the chair.
Got him. Oh. Jerry Lynn will have to train his legs for about 6 more years after lifting Van Dam once. Trust me. Heavy. Both men are down. Turning point in the matchup. Retirement tour of Jerry Lynn. Jerry Lynn is at stake here. The tour. Steel chairs in play. No disqualifications. Tables busted up.
Both men weary. As Lynn heads out to the apron, he's got possession of the chair. Van Dam finally gets back up to his feet. Gonna turn around and see. Oh, he saw out of the corner of his eye. Lynn going up to the corner. Van Dam with the kick. And Jerry Lynn goes right through the wood.
Forgot about the other table out there. Van Dam, man. With that aggressive kick with a steel chair in the face, and then boom, Lynn going through that table. Gonna get the win here,
Lynn rolled
Van
back
Dam.
in. RVD covers 2. No! Courageous effort by both of these men, as Jerry Lynn was able to come up at the last minute with that quick burst as he avoided the 3 count.
Wait a minute, you don't
Is he going to be able to avoid
No way.
a 5-star? It's a
far
long
away.
way to fly.
No way he's gonna nail this. Oh!
All the way across the ring. 5-star frog splash. Follow pin. Here's 2. And the 3 count, and RVD victorious.
Your winner, Rob Van Dam!
The thing that was so impressive was the way Van Dam, not just how far away Jerry Lynn was from the corner for the 5-star, but how Van Dam, time in and time out, is always able to change direction in midair. That's what's impressive about Van Dam.
Well, we saw it from both of these men throughout the match. We saw that same ability on several occasions by Jerry Lynn, but in the end, the renewal of the illustrious rivalry between these two, the win at Xtravaganza goes to Rob Van Dam.
So I guess that means Van Dam, he is the winner of the big rivalry. That's what you're basically, are you saying that, or you're not saying
In terms of wins and losses, I guess that's what you have to say.
Or you're just being vague again? What are you doing?
Being vague in the least.
Well,
instead of being vague, why don't you go back and define what went down courtesy of this video package?
Listen, as a, well documented here, this was the retirement tour, one of the matches of this tour that Jerry Lynn had. And basically, this rivalry between these two men, they've just gone all over the world and competed against each other in several different promotions. And great chemistry in the match, as usual, between Lynn and Van Dam. But Van Dam, I believe his high-risk antics, as I said it early in the match, that was nasty, was enough for him to gain the victory, even though that was impressive right there by Jerry Lynn.
Yeah, several occasions we anticipated victories for both of these men.
That was the killing blow right there. That right there was the killing blow, my friends.
As you look back, have to agree, because it enabled RVD to go super high risk, flying all the way across the ring as he hits the 5-star frog splash and scores the victory at Xtravaganza. Great win for RVD.
You know what, Mike? You should start a retirement tour. No?
You've just been a full-court press throughout Xtravaganza, haven't you?
Well,
you
yes.
never let up.
How about look at the emotion here, the friendship, the
focus
the
back,
respect.
concentrate on what's important.
I'm trying to do my job and trying to let our audience know that the mutual respect of this rivalry between these two great competitors. Jerry Lynn now can go off to the sunset on his pony into Minneapolis, wherever the hell he lives, listening to his heavy metal music.
Yes, mutual respect between Jerry Lynn and Rob Van Dam. Respect from the fans at the Impact Zone, and look at the respect from the TNA, from the Impact Wrestling roster, the X Division stars coming out to salute.
That's very nice.
Jerry Lynn and RVD both.
Big respect right there. I think it's more towards Jerry Lynn.
Of course it is.
Surprised them. There's Al Snow, the only one out here older than Jerry Lynn, so besides Earl Hebner. So that's pretty cool. Again, my contemporary, so I bow to you, Jerry Lynn, on this one. Great career for the great Jerry Lynn. There's no doubt about that.
And what better way for Jerry Lynn to have it as part of his retirement tour than to come back to the scene of so many of his great victories. The Impact Zone in Orlando, Florida. It's a great moment. Soak it in, Jerry Lynn. You deserve it.
Well, these young X Division wrestlers should look on at a man like Jerry Lynn in awe and hope that they can have a career half as successful as Jerry. All kidding aside, I've had the opportunity to wrestle Jerry many times, and it's always been a great time competing against the guy throughout my years. So congratulations to Jerry Lynn on a tremendous career.
Celebratory lap around the Impact Zone.
What better way for him to end his career but see, what better way to end his career than against someone like Van Dam? You heard what Van Dam just said about Jerry.
Best matches of his career. And now time to meet the Impact Wrestling roster. What a great moment this is.